The Zenit 12XP is a descendant of the Zenit-E, which I previously reviewed on this channel. Apparently, the Zenit-E camera concept itself is a descendant of the Swirly rangefinders, which was itself a descendant of the Leica. So it's sort of a poor man's descendant of a copy of, well, never mind. It's a much rugged Zenit, manufactured in the 1980s and the 1990s. I'm not certain if there were any other colors that were made, but all the Zenit 12XPs I've seen have been in black. It comes with the classic Helios M44-4, which, like any other Helios lens, is known for producing that swirly bokeh. The lens I've got here on this camera is actually the Helios M44-2, which is a very close relative of the original kit lens. It's a 58mm f2 prime. 58mm was considered standard in the Russian opinion of the day because they believed it more closely matched the human vision than 50mm. It's a fully manual lens, of course. The aperture ring is right in front of the camera and the preview ring is right next to it. The preview ring allows you to open the aperture to f2 focusing before returning it to, say, an aperture like f8 or f11 for taking a picture. This will ensure that you get a more precise focus of your subject. This also serves a pretty awesome purpose when using the lens with modern cameras for video. I will talk about this in an upcoming video about the Helios lens itself. This lens is so cool that it deserves a video all by itself, see. There's a nice smooth focus ring with a distance scale. The lens mount is M42, which means of course you can swap it out with any lens with the same M42 mount. The Zenit 12XP features a simple modern shutter speed dial inherited from its predecessor, the Zenit 12 TTL. Unlike the Zenit-E, it doesn't need to be raised up to be changed. It just dials back and forth from B to 500 in the same usual Zenit steps of B, 30, 60, 125, 250, and 500. The shutter release button is right next to the shutter dial. It is threaded so it can be used with a shutter release cable or soft release button. The shutter release can be locked by rotating the shutter release button to the V position. There's a self-timer in front of the camera that gives you about 7 seconds to get into position. The thing right on top of it is the self-timer button. Like in the Zenit-E, the film advance crank and the frame counter are the same unit. You have to manually set the counter to 0 after placing the film in. When you're done, you can rewind the film by first depressing the ring around the shutter release button and rewinding the film by moving the rewind lever in a clockwise motion. When this is done, you can open the back of the camera by pulling the rewind lever unit upwards, which will cause the back of the camera to pop open. Voila! Loading the film is easy and secure with all the Zenits. You pass the tip of the film through the spindle on the right with the sprockets aligned to the gears and wind the film advance crank. I've never had the problem of the film not latching correctly with the Zenits. The Zenit 12XP comes with an inbuilt exposure meter. You can tell the camera what your film speed is or what you want the camera to think the speed is by setting the value on the ASA dial. The metering is through the lens, so it works with filters and protectors and so on. There are 2 LEDs visible in the viewfinder, one upper, one lower. If the upper one lights up by itself, it indicates overexposure. If the lower one lights up by itself, it indicates underexposure. If they switch from one to the other, it means you're sort of in the ballpark and your exposure could be accurate, maybe or maybe not. If they both light up and are flashing, then the camera thinks you've got good exposure. It's up to you, of course, as we all know the camera can be easily fooled. The light meter is powered by 2 LR43 batteries, which are relatively easy to find. You don't need them though, as you can operate this camera in a fully manual mode. The battery compartment is at the top right corner at the back of the camera. The viewfinder itself is relatively large and bright with a split prism type focusing screen that is easy to use. I mean, it's really nothing particularly special. There is a hot shoe for accessories, like a flash which can be synced with the camera via the sync socket located in front of the camera. The Zenit 12XP also features neck strap eyelets, which are missing from some of the previous Zenits. This means you can use the strap without the need for a half case. There is a tripod socket at the bottom of the camera. It's located in a good place such that you can remove the base plate and still use the socket. Well, that's all well and good. Photos though, does it take good photos, and how does it handle? Well, aesthetically speaking, I can't tell the difference between photos I've taken with this camera and those with the Zenit-E. That's to be expected, of course, because I've used the same lens, the Helios 44-2, in both of them. In short, I love the results, particularly at f2. So long as you've got the optimal distances between subject and background, you get that highly sought after swirly bokeh. Because the lens is uncoated, you also get that soft, foggy spray of light that looks great in certain types of portraits, especially when outdoors in the sun. It's not for everyone. If you like super sharp photos or do macro photography, you may not be impressed with this camera or this lens. If, however, you take lots of portraits or slow speed, sort of easy street photography, then this camera is for you. Portrait photographers though, we want to grab the Helios 85mm f1.5 lens for even more beautiful, even more bokeh-licious results. The main negatives I find with this camera compared to the Zenit-E are: 1. The light meter, while being more convenient to use than the predecessors, is actually less accurate. And 2. The viewfinder is slightly less enjoyable than the Zenit-E's. But the updated rewind lever, the neck strap eyelets, the black color, and the better placement of the shutter release button all make it feel like I'm using the Zenit-E with most of its original pains resolved. So that's the Zenit 12XP in a nutshell. Till next time, do svidania!